loading snacks.
What it do, snackettes, and snack actors? It's your boy Gage here, sitting comfortably in my, warm.
You look
snug-
snuggly, sir.
This is my action movie. You know what I'm saying? Get up. That's how you know it's
That's the action movie. Get up.
This is my action movie. Get up.
The slow motion, slow motion gunslinging. Get up.
What? Slow motion diving through anything,
yes, everything,
and everything.
Flames, fire. This is it. You know what I'm saying? This is the one. Sin's in the building, Frosty's in the building, and Jokes is in the building. Though I don't see a name for you, Jokes, and I can't see Frosty's name right now. So, here's the thing. We are here to have our Loading Snacks Movie Club discussion for the movie Face Off. Face/off. Not dash off. This is not a prosthetic face makeup review, sort of. I guess maybe in a way it is.
And in a way, maybe.
I love that show.
Do you? I can imagine. It is quite creative.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have. It's got drama, but not action.
No.
I don't know. Sometimes they be running around like trying to get things done last minute, and there's some like
action pack.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there slow mo?
It ain't that John Woo action.
There might be. Sometimes they get like funny with it, and they're like, "This is a major like problem," and slow it down. Yeah.
A major like problem is exactly what I want. You know what I'm saying? In my drama/action.
Mm-hmm.
Face Off. Where do I begin? This movie, I'm gonna actually go out on a limb and say it's a cult classic. I almost just said classic. I don't think it's a classic anymore. I think there was a time when this movie was a classic. However, I don't think that the almost 30 years since its release, and I'm going to say like the 5 years after its release, have been really good to the movie. This is not about how well the movie was shot or what it looks like now, whatever. Just like I think if people start naming action movies that are their favorite action movies or what they think of when they think of an action movie, this movie has fallen out of line with that unless you're like the right kind of action movie junkie. Because otherwise, like, you're not even thinking about this. And here's the thing. This movie exists in a place where, for all intents and purposes, action movies are going away. They are becoming not a thing anymore. This is like one of the last films that I think personally exists in a genre you would clearly just call action movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a bygone thing, which isn't a thing for a lot of other genres of film. But adventure still exists. There's action adventure. And I think we've taken on other things to kind of globally say what type of film a film is.
I think the biggest thing nowadays that fall into that category of action is like the John Wick franchise.
But it just started happening again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
like that style. Yeah.
And that is why I think this movie could see like a bit of a resurgence in terms of like people just being able to like, oh, this is just stupid action. That's actually what we're here for. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't put this in one of those ones where it was like, if I want to watch an old action movie, it wouldn't have been this one. Like, This is the first time I saw it, and I was on my phone for the first half of it. I was like, this thing is dumb. Like, I can't. Like, I don't like John Travolta's acting. Like, sorry.
Oh,
we'll
okay.
There's
what it is right there. John Travolta, immediate negative score.
I don't have a problem. Well,
I don't. Are you? Was that you speaking for you, Jokes, or was that you speaking for Frost? Oh yeah, I don't know if that's the case. I just think maybe in this movie, I will say this: it is a widely spread notion that John Travolta is trash in this movie. Now I'm going to highly disagree.
I was saying I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed that.
I disagree.
I enjoyed
and
it.
Listen, and we can get into that.
I mean, I also hated Nick Cage in this. Like it was.
What
Yeah,
did
so
you hate?
cringy.
Which you got to be like, I guess as we get into it more specific, which version of Nick Cage did you hate, and which version of John Travolta did you hate?
He definitely acted better as John Travolta. Like I get that he's supposed to play like this crazy like crime lord thing, but it was like way too over the top. Like
that's the point.
His face is so
That's
unfortunate in most of those scenes. Like I don't even want to look at him.
That's yes. It's
Ugh.
it's 1997 perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what it is. So here's the thing. This movie is John Woo is for well,
I'll be honest, I forgot that this was a John Woo show. I honestly forgot that.
It is?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Sin.
He made the double blocks the thing.
A very specific number of people. John Woo is, like you said, he's the GOAT. He's the action GOAT. And the truth of it is, John Woo's way of shooting action, his cinematography, did in fact inform almost everything we know about action movies that came after he did Hard Boiled, stuff like that.
I was watching this like this movie, like Broken Arrow wasn't it from what I remember, but Face Off, his follow-up one, was the one that really showcased what his style is about.
Yeah, so like, but the thing about it is John Woo and what he was doing in China wasn't really accepted in China. Like they didn't really like him kind of making that transition over to the US market came out of like things not going so hot in China. And but for those of us who were like the action seekers who would go and like, here's a reality of it. What John Woo was doing for action movies was more or less taking what were kung fu movies, and adding guns and making people like he was kind of taking it to the next level, developing like gun kata, if you will, in terms of like, this is how you make it feel like an actual kung fu flick, but with guns at the helm of it, right? Instead of some other weapon, or instead of martial arts being at it. So it's not like it hadn't been done at all. Like Jackie Chan was doing films where he was a police officer over and over again, where yeah, he's an officer. Yeah, it is still modern times. Right. However, it's still a kung fu movie. It's still about the actual martial arts for him in the end of it. And it's him more or less using martial arts to beat all the bad guys with the guns. John Woo was like, no. We're going to shoot these guys.
Oh, yeah. And we're not reloading a single thing.
Nope.
Listen, we don't reload.
You're down to one bullet.
We might drop and pick up something else.
Yeah.
But we are diving. We are sliding, slow motion. By the way, add some doves in there real quick.
And some sparks. Everything is going to spark when we shoot it.
Everywhere. Yeah. Like, I'm talking about like stage show sparks, sparks everywhere, right? Like, so John Woo like is in a weird way on this path of attempting to prove that what he's doing is the right thing. And other filmmakers from the US were starting to mimic what they were seeing. They were importing his. So like for us, I'm watching kung fu flicks. I'm willing to go the extra mile to get kung fu flicks that are not even in English, right? Because I want to see that thing.
I don't need to know the story. I just need to see the hands. That's it.
I just need to see the hands.
That's it.
Right? And that's how we end up in a place, in a world where, like, yep, we love Lethal Weapon. Those movies were literally trying to mimic what John Woo was doing in movies like The Killer and Hard Boiled, right? Mm-hmm. And so,
oh my gosh.
They really did put, like, if this movie was originally written and intended to come out in like 91, and then the script just kind of got bounced around and so forth until it finally got greenlit. And John Woo wasn't actually the original director.
I can believe it.
He came in later. So, but I think that happened as a result of him doing Broken Arrow with John Travolta, which
that's John Woo too?
Yeah, him and Christian Slater in that one.
No, I know Broken Arrow, but I didn't know that was John Woo too. Okay.
Yeah, that was his first one in the U.S.
That was his first movie in the U.S. Yeah. Then he did this. He did Mission Impossible 2. That was later. That was like 2000.
Oh, like, yeah. When he was on the bike and all the black and everything. That was definitely John Woo. Yeah.
John Woo with fire on the motorcycle.
Run it back.
Yeah. Like, he started to get known and kind of get, some chops on this side. And again, there were a lot of other directors who I think were just kind of mimicking what they saw in what he was doing, because all of a sudden, nobody used two handguns at the same time until John Woo did it.
That was it. Yep, that was him.
That wasn't a thing. So him.
I remember just a little side note. PC game called Rise of the Triad. Do y'all remember that first-person shooter?
No,
to unlock the double Glocks in it, you had to type in John Woo. It was a code.
Yeah.
That was the code.
Yep, type in John Woo, and they give you the double Glocks in the game.
Like it was a thing. Like all the video games that had it, that eventually got the ability for you to dual wielding wasn't a thing. It became a thing because of John Woo. Because John Woo was doing that in movies that led up to this movie. So in 1997, right, when this movie gets announced and they show the first trailer, which is a terrible trailer.
Sure.
Now, it wasn't a terrible trailer then. It's a 90s trailer for sure. It's a 90s action trailer for sure, right? Bro, the first time I saw the two guns, I was like, oh.
Done. I'm going. Day one, I'm in the building.
I'm all in. I'm in.
And then you see the name, you're like, oh, double Glocks, John Woo? Let's go.
Woo? This is happening. All right. Now, let me preface, before I ask for early scores, let me preface this by saying, this is a stupid movie.
Oh, yeah.
We're not gonna try, like, this movie it's dumb. However, you can find it's a good ride sometimes in something dumb. And Sin, give me a before discussion score for this movie.
Can I give a 10 for each Glock?
There's so many Glocks in this though.
All over the place.
I don't even know if you know how many Glocks there are in it.
No, it's too many to count. But on some real, I'm trying to look at my nostalgia versus actually rewatching it after all this time. Like, and I knew when we said Face Off, I was like, I don't want to watch it. It's just gonna be so bad. Yeah, I had such these great memories of watching it. Like, with all that together, I can't go lower than a 7. It just holds so many fond memories. Like watching, this was one of those movies I watched all the time when I got it. Like on VHS or whatever, I watched it constantly.
Bro,
it was all coming back to me when it was on. I was like, I know this scene right here. Yeah,
every day.
Yes,
I used to watch the movie every day. Every day.
Yeah.
Frosty, give me a pre-discussion score for this movie.
A 3.
Perfect. We don't need to talk about it anymore. Jokes.
I'm a little bit better than Sin, a little higher than Sin. I'm at an 8.
Okay.
I'm also at an 8. But I could be talked into anything from a 3 to a 10.
I just have to talk myself past some of the things. And listen, I know it was from 1997, and it's like I saw. And listen, in the opening scene where one dude gets when the explosions start happening and dude gets blasted with the shotgun, and you actually see like the string that like pulled my man back. I was just like, oh no!
I didn't catch that one, but there was some bad cuts with stunt doubles.
Stuntman, the stunt
No,
was.
I kept seeing other dudes on the screen like, bro, that is
there
not
was
Nick
a
Cage,
lot of
bro.
other people.
You are not Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, like those are you're not John Travolta.
What I have learned about myself when I go back to watch older movies, I was so uneducated just about the way that things work, about the way that stuff is shot or whatever. Like, that's not like I had never seen behind the scenes stuff, or like I didn't know that there were stuntmen. But you don't. It's so much more difficult to suspend that disbelief now because we're just so familiar with, like, we just have so much knowledge around how a lot of that stuff works. There are moments in this where it's like, I assume in 1997, I wasn't even trying to look at Slim's face. I was just watching the boat go across the water. Oh, they made that jump. That's crazy.
Yep. As soon as it happened, I was like, oh no, that is not y'all, buddy. No.
But it's amazing how much they cut directly to them dudes.
And slowed it down. Slowed it down.
He ain't got the same hairline at all, bro.
No, not even a little bit, close. Oh man. They actually put that dude in John Travolta's suit. Like, it's just, that suit's way too big for you guys. You shouldn't even be in that. The wind is just billowing in the back on you. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no. This is let me get into like the synopsis of what this film is, because it's a more difficult synopsis than it seems like on the surface. Baseline is, these are two men who hate each other and are on complete opposite sides of the law. So John Travolta's character and Nicolas Cage's character,
Castor Troy and Sean Archer.
That name, Castor Troy,
has lived with me forever.
Oh my
God. That name alone is fire.
That name was like such a big deal. Like, people were rapping about it. Like, that's like, it was everything. It's so, the long and short of it is that these two gentlemen end up literally having to physically swap faces, which again, really, really dumb
bullshit.
Really dumb on the, on the surface, but this movie starts out with a merry-go-round scene, a lot of slow-mo, very John Woo.
I'm about to say, yes, right in his bag.
However, it's also very Hideo Kojima. It's very like, Castor Troy is not even on a hill. He's just at a
He's just right there. Just right there.
With a white sheet covering a sniper rifle. And he just slow-mo. Whoosh. Pulled it off. Like,
John all day.
Correct. Everything is so over the top, so extra dramatic. Everything needs extra motion and movements or whatever. He is taking aim at Sean Archer, John Travolta's character, and we have no idea what the history is between these two people. We don't really know what's going on, right? For all we know, John Travolta is a mobster,
right?
You know what I mean? Something, and they, for all we know, they both mobsters. They could be rival mob families, like, we don't know. You know what I mean? Castor fires a shot at John Travolta. It hits him in his back as he's on the merry-go-round. The shot goes through him. Sean Archer's character is holding his son on the merry-go-round and sitting with his son. Son gets shot in the head and killed. And then we like fast forward 6 years. And John Travolta's character, who is this like high level law enforcement agent is leading a team of people to try to capture Castor Troy. Obviously, it's a personal thing.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of personal. This time it's personal.
Of course it is.
That's a trailer joint right there. This time
like it is in the
it's
90s.
Personal.
Right.
It's not regular personal.
Face
1997 personal.
In theaters, June 1997.
Personal had to get John Woo.
He's kind of a jerk. He's terrible to the people that work with him, work for him. I think people are supposed to be kind of understanding because they understand what happened to him. Right? So they just kind of tolerate it. They all, for the most part, want to see this man get captured and put behind bars too. And again, we have no idea. We don't know anything about this dude. We don't know what he's done. We don't know how bad he is or whatever. All we know is that he shot this man in the back and killed his kid.
Yeah.
That's more than enough reason right there.
However, we cut to my man dressed as a priest, arming a bomb.
Don't shake your head. Don't shake your head like that.
Love that.
Don't do it. Love it. Cassie was getting it in. Don't fake. Hey. He was getting it.
Kissing little choir girls. I don't know what's going on. I was getting uncomfortable. I was like, wait a minute. I don't know.
I don't quite remember the way this is going right now.
No one's looking at him like no one's saying a word to him as he's groping this girl and screaming hallelujah.
Hey. Oh yeah. Not at all. Not at all. He just armed the bomb, smoking a cigarette.
Yep.
Vibing.
This takes chances. You know what I mean? Life means nothing. They get word he's going to be on a plane, flying out. He's got this little brother, Pollux. And Pollux is everything to Castor. Might be the only person on the entire planet Castor actually
cares about. Yeah.
It's his little brother, Pollux, who is scheming, diabolical in like almost like a Disney character kind of way, like just kind of like
how he talks, mannerisms, all that stuff. He has his own eccentricness, like his brother, just a little more subtle with it. Like like you said, the whole yes, we're gonna do it this way. Yeah.
I definitely believe that if this movie was done like now, they would do more to make those characters to like specifically call out like what kind of like mental things they had going on, like if there was some autism here, or if there was I feel like they would actually drive a little bit more in those directions now, as opposed to just like then it was just kind of like he's just
crazy and weird,
quiet, odd, whatever. We get our first shot of the golden dragon infused, as Sim will call them, double Glocks. Let me just make something very clear. If you are from this era, it doesn't matter what kind of guns they are.
Yes.
Hold two of them at the same time. They are double Glocks.
Pop.
That's what it is.
Yep.
They are double Glocks.
Yeah.
Call them whatever you want, but they might not be.
You look up Urban Dictionary, they're the double Glocks.
That's what it is. We now are in a position where they're getting on a plane. They know about the plane. They have sent an agent to be on the plane. We don't know who it is. You can guess who it is.
Yeah.
But, Castor gets on the plane, allows this woman to suck his tongue. That's probably the nastiest moment in this entire movie. Somebody's face got cut off. So, I just want to make that very clear. We're on the runway, we're ready to go, and here comes the cavalry, right? Like, we're jumping the gun. We got police officers in Humvees. Whoever Castor Troy is
him.
Hey, he's the dude.
Him.
Yeah.
We bring in everybody. All right. We're in a actual face-off between like a police Humvee and a jet. a private jet, but still it's a jet.
Yeah.
It's really only one way this is gonna go.
I'll try to play chicken either way.
And not good for one of them.
We get to kind of see a little bit more of a dive into the kind of person that Castor is when he takes the agent, shows them in the window like, hey, I got the agent, we got it, let's go, we taking off, you know what I mean? And then like as they pass her, just kind of dangles her out the window, puts one in her head and just drops her body off the side of the front. I was like, oh yeah, he's diabolical. This is my guy. I like this guy. Because if you're gonna put a villain in a movie, make it known what kind of person we're dealing with up front.
I think it's Nick Cage for me. I think I just hate Nick Cage in this. Like if you had put somebody else in that role, I might have been all right with it.
What is it? Is it because it's not believable for you because it's Nick Cage?
Yeah.
Why?
He's a terrible like character actor. He's one of those people who is typecast. He plays the broody, like he plays those phenomenally, and it's how I remember him. Anytime I see him in some kind of eccentric role, I hate him. Like I don't like it.
You don't like him being over the top?
Yeah.
Jim Carrey definitely could have played this role.
Ooh, definitely. Definitely. I thought about that actually watching. It was a specific scene. I can't remember what scene it was, but I was like, that was so Jim Carrey right there.
It's probably like whenever he like smiles or he laughs, it's like immediately you could think to Jim Carrey on there. Whether it's like probably more of Ace Ventura. I think Ace Ventura is probably
maybe it was a church scene the way he walked in.
That's
we didn't do all that stuff walking into the church at the end.
Yeah. It's very kind of like, but again, it's also very like I don't take anything seriously. You know what I mean? Like, I know this is serious. You might catch me. I know it's serious to you if I kill this agent and drop her body on the tarmac, but it's not that big a deal to me. He literally shoots her and then just kind of shrugs. You know what I mean? Looks at him and is like, you know what I mean? Like, who else we killing today, right? They run the plane off the tarmac and into a warehouse. We're gonna call it a warehouse. I mean, it's
a vacant hangar, whatever. Yeah.
It's a very should be vacant hangar. That
but it's not.
There's stuff everywhere.
A lot of stuff to be blown up for action sequences.
Correct. This is an action ready.
Yeah.
Airplane hangar. And then it just turns into like the end of a John Woo film.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is. So this is what I'm gonna say. I think in this moment, it feels to me like, all right, this is technically pre Nicolas Cage, The Rock, Con Air. Like Nicolas Cage is not technically an action star yet. At this point, like those movies have been filmed, but they have not been released. This is technically the start of that for Nicolas Cage. For a lot of people, this is more or less an introduction in some manner to him, because Nicolas Cage is would not really ever be seen as an action star. Con Air kind of takes that
Con Air was
to a
classic.
different level. The Rock does the same thing, right? The Rock is kind of a not mistaken identity, but kind of a mistaken thing, reluctant kind of, but I'm trained and I know how to do some things. Con Air is very much like, I'm a villain here, but I'm stuck doing something I don't really want to have to do. And he really gets to act against some other people who I think kind of really sell it. And you're talking about like Michael Bay levels of action and explosions and stuff like this. And I think that for John Woo, this is, I think, maybe what he feels like is necessary in order for him to be able to captivate an American audience.
Actually, Con Air came out right before Face Off.
Okay. So same year.
Yeah, 1997. Yep, same year.
Okay. I thought it was the other way
And The
around.
Rock was before
They were
that.
both 97, but I was thinking that Con Air was after this.
And The Rock was right before Con Air.
So, I think for John Woo, I want to make an impact. I did Broken Arrow. It's cool. I think Broken Arrow did okay.
I think so too.
But let's take what normally is my signature kind of end of the movie action. Let's do it right at the beginning.
Right at the beginning.
Let's just give it to them up front, right? Which I think for a lot of people, I think did actually sell it in the beginning. And again, my man gets hit with that shotgun in that one, what you were talking about, Jokes, and just goes flying. Perfect. It's perfect. We don't care about the strings. I want to come with strings forever.
Yeah,
I ignored it. Initially, I ignored it. It was like 30 seconds before I said, you know what? That string was really there. Like, I kind of just...
Did you run it back?
and I ran that joke back. Tatiana was watching. I was like, hey, yo, that dude had a string on his back.
He was attached to wires.
Yeah. Yeah, the shootout is kind of it's a little bit more than ridiculous. The one dude gets like his ear blown off.
Yep.
Which is important to the storyline. It's not just for the sake of the blood or the gore or the action. It's part of the storyline. The dude gets his ear blown off, and Castor Troy gets blown into like a fence by a jet engine. So again,
that's set up in a warehouse filled with a bunch of explodable stuff.
Awesome.
That's like the laboratory. That's where they try out stuff.
Did not see any lab equipment. There's just an engine on a
mount. It's the trash hangar. This is the hangar where we just take stuff we were using and we not using right now. Just we want to
plug it up.
But we want the power button for the jet engine to still be available.
Yeah, that's why they had to mess with it in order to make it work. It wasn't working. He figured out how to make it work in that instance.
Just like that.
Yeah,
it was working that day.
Ingenuity, not science ingenuity, in order to make that work. Right. And look, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I never really thought about it when I watched it years ago. But in this instance, I was like, is he supposed to be dead?
Yeah.
Right.
That didn't look like it killed him. You know what I mean? I can see it knocking him out. Yeah. But then when they acted like he was in this kind of crazy coma that he's never... I was kind of like,
I was like, really? A coma? You wake up from a coma. So I'm like...
I think there were a couple of rewrites here. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
did.
And, look, we get a little bit of the background between Archer and, like, his wife and his daughter and kind of what's been going on with them and, like, how they've all dealt with the loss of the younger brother, the son, differently. The daughter's starting to wild out. She put color in her hair. Oh my goodness. 1997. If you're dressed like a goblin, the goblins are gonna be attracted to you. Like, it was really like
shut up.
Like, all right. And it has very like opposite ended tropes. So like there is the Sean Archer is the long arm of the law. Castor Troy is the short arm of the criminal underworld. Sean Archer is the long arm of the law. We do what's necessary. We take lives if we have to. His wife is a doctor. We save lives. This is, you know what I mean? Like, it's just very like there's a lot of kind of opposites. I'm sure the son, he's presented as like the angel and the greatest thing, and the daughter's being presented as like this heathen, you know what I'm saying, or whatever in the law. So like there's just a lot of kind of opposite plays here. It's a theme that runs throughout, so that it feels kind of right when these two people who are you're really pushing the drama of how opposite they are to one another, and you're able to then play that up when they have to kind of switch places and thereby switch personalities or act like one another or whatever it is. Basically, because they don't know, they find out about this bomb. When they capture the younger brother, they find in the notes that there's this bomb. They put a bomb somewhere. And there was something that Castor said to Archer right before he got comatose. That was like,
that's what you meant. That's what you meant. Yeah.
Right? So now we know that there's a dirty bomb somewhere that's gonna go off and kill a lot of people or whatever it is, and they know that he would really do it. That's how diabolical of a human he is. So we got to figure it out. So immediately, I'm just gonna say it for the sake of saying it. The only two people of importance who are black in this film, who immediately they ain't gonna make it.
They ain't gonna make it.
Hey, look, listen, hold on.
At the same damn time.
Hey, listen, I knew one of them. Like, I had to think back. I was like, one of them I knew wasn't gonna make it. But then when they got to the scene and had to burn the place, I was like, oh damn, they both in there. I was like, of course, get them out of here.
No witnesses.
No. Look, we got this. We have this opportunity for you to sneak in and get this information. And here's the thing. This is the piece that makes the most sense to me and that I probably like the most about this movie in terms of the way the story is. She says to him, take a walk with me and let me show you something. They go and they show my man's ear being reconstructed, and the doctor, this doctor looks so diabolical. Like he's
like a villain.
He looks like a villain, bro. He looks like he's in on it from the start. Like there's
I've seen him with something else as a villain before.
Oh no, he always plays a lot of like that same type of role. But this was I feel like it was like his origin story. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. This was like his origin story that was gonna go wrong at some point, and he was gonna be on the opposite side.
Who runs Arkham in the Batman franchise? Who runs?
With the glasses. I know exactly who you're talking about. I can't think of his name right now.
It's him. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's him.
I can't think of his name. This one random.
There's no part of me that even felt like he was trustworthy. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, look, we can take your face off, put it on his body, take it. You know what I mean? We'll put his face on you. We got this microphone technology. We can make you sound like him.
Shove a mic in your throat.
You can sneak in, talk to his brother, get his brother to tell you where the bomb is. We good. You know what I mean? Easy peasy. My favorite part of this joint. My man was like, hell no. No, dog. They like, well, then how you gonna do it? The same way I always do.
Right.
I'm gonna go rub people up. And then we spent like a good 10 minutes with him just yoinking people.
Actually doing it.
Hey, like
he threw homie in the office. My man was like, hey, yo, what's that smell? He was like, yeah, he shitted in his pants.
Yeah. Because this is what we do. I'm going to get some answers out of somebody. You know what I mean? Nobody got no answers. The plot thickens because we get the girlfriend, right? We get her brother. It's a little something weird going on between that sister and brother. We'll get to that. You okay, Jokes? You want to talk about it now? You okay?
Hey, listen. I knew they were brother and sister. So when it happens, I was like, hey, listen, I had to stop for a second because I was like, wait a minute. Did a part of this movie get cut and rearranged and put back in and they left something out here? Because that is not brother and sister. You do not kiss your brother or sister like that.
No.
I thought I was remembering like which one was the brother wrong at that point.
So was I.
Listen, I thought about that too. And I was like,
was that not her brother earlier? Am I tripping?
Yeah.
I'm lie to you. I paused the movie and was like, hold on.
What I'm about to say.
I don't remember this. You know what I mean? I don't remember this. And in my head, I remembered there being like a relationship between the two of them, but not remembering that they were brother and sister. Like, you know what I mean? Like in my head, like, it's been so long since I've seen the movie.
Right.
I had forgotten Gina Gershon was even in this movie.
I did too until I saw her. I was like, oh yeah.
Until I saw her and was like, oh,
It's like,
yeah,
yeah.
Gina
Hello.
Gershon. Oh, hey. Hey, how you doing?
Now this movie's woken me up a little bit. Okay, I'm on awake now. Let's go.
Are we gonna watch this?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like, I don't listen. It's pretty nasty. Like, I don't know. I guess this is the people they are. That just maybe that's what they're trying to tell us. It ain't right. I appreciate that my man was like, because I also didn't remember that. I didn't remember him being like, no, dog, I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you want me to go lie to my wife? I just told my wife
then it's over. Yeah,
I'm out. I'm
out. Like, I'm not doing it.
Not only go back in, but go put his face on and go back in. Like,
correct.
Didn't even tell her that. Hey, imagine if he had to, if he was able and had to tell. So listen, I'm not gonna look the same for a little while. So
no, dog. Like, again, like, and it's the super clandestine, super secret squirrel. Nobody can know. Your superiors can't know. Nobody on your team can know. The only people who know are your boss
and me,
this woman whose idea it was, and the doctor. And clearly, I don't know, 5 surgeons that were in the room
that had to help. Yeah,
you know what I mean. All them bimers got burnt up.
Straight up.
And let me tell you about the man that is Castor Troy.
My guy.
My man woke up. My man woke up with no face.
That's actually one of my favorite parts of the movie. With that quick cut when he's walking and they flash his face.
They show it right.
Yeah, really quick like that. I was just one of my favorite points in the movie. Just that quick little pop to throw it on the screen, just to with that palette, because everybody's wondering what does he look like.
Yep.
Yeah. And they like.
And once he walks up in dude's glass, and you actually see his face in his glasses, it was like,
right.
Oh yeah, he don't have a face.
Just listening to him talk.
Yeah.
Like without lips, without, you know what I mean? Like, it's just.
That was so Joker villain or whatever, like him on the phone with the shadow and how he was talking and everything. I was like, that's a Batman villain right there. Clear as day.
Bro, it's super bad.
I just realized that's where that Joker joke just came from. That joke came from Face Off.
Yeah. When he's in the joint and he makes him hold the mirror, yeah. And he had to unwrap his face. Yeah.
And the Joker did that. Yep. That's exactly where that came from.
They mimic one another, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's very like, this movie has small levels of like Dick Tracy level caricatures of villain and police officer, which is very much what Batman is. You know what I mean? And you're witnessing what is happening to Sean Archer, who now looks like Castor Troy, get put into the population in a prison that nobody knows exists. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people in this prison.
But yet the shore is right there.
Mm-hmm. It's an oil rig.
Oil rig.
It's an oil rig.
You can see it from the highway.
Yeah, but
it's an oil rig.
It's an oil rig.
I feel like it needs to be further out. I'm just saying.
I mean, they don't want to take those things that far away. Listen, you just tell me when the U.S. government got the kind of money they needed to build that facility underneath there. You know, you don't even really. I mean, the whole idea of the prison, again, everything's magnetics. Small fact: the magnetic boots that they use in this movie that they wear, that they walk around in, are the boots from the Super Mario
movie. I thought it was. I looked at it. I had to double take out when he stepped, and I was like,
"It really is."
Them the Mario jumps. Because when they have like the little separation in there when they do like the jump in them, I was like, "Them the Mario boots."
Mario boots.
Oh, that's terrible.
My man gets put into the population. He doesn't really know exactly how to act like Castor, but these are two people who know everything about each other. Yeah. They have studied each other. And so he goes in, he gets in a fight with somebody. He don't even know why he's in a fight. Finds out that he's in a fight. Has to do what he thinks is the Castor Troy kind of thing to survive, whatever. Gets thrown in a hole, the whole works, right? So it's kind of working itself out. He's doing a decent job of making the one person who would be able to figure out that it's not him, which is the brother,
Yeah, Pollux. Yeah,
start to believe that it's that it's him. And so, as you're kind of beginning to think that this is working out, that's when Castor wakes up. You know what I mean? He gets the information from the brother about where the bomb is in the LA Convention Center, blah, blah, blah. Tells him he's stupid, all that kind of stuff. And he gets called like he thinks they coming to get him and remove him from prison and change his face back. And of course, the person that walks in is none other.
Castor,
Listen,
baby.
I love the way that whole John is shot when he shows up and that door open and it hit like the double camera on him, just like, oh, like, hey, that's me.
Look on his face
me.
went down so fast.
Hey, listen.
Everything changed.
Hey, listen, when that explanation starts coming, like he starts just like, oh, I'm like getting that feeling like, oh, I'm really about to be stuck here for the rest of my life right now.
Yep.
Like
all of it's starting to sink in. And this is where I have to push back a bit against Frosty's idea. Nicolas Cage in these moments does such a good job, in my opinion, of embodying what those moments look like they would feel like. If you're coming to the realization like, oh no, like I'm literally everything that could possibly have gone wrong with this
has gone wrong. Yep.
Right? Like he's telling him in his ear, oh yeah, I burnt all that up. Everybody,
all the evidence, all the things that
just you.
Yeah, all that. You ain't been watching the news, right? The news story about the whole place burning down and all of that or whatever. And it's like, oh no. And so like the whimpering, the trying to complain, and him just kind of crying in a corner joint, like I'm really never gonna get out like I am in here. As a Saint saying, I think it's so well done. I'm sure there are plenty of other people who could have done it. But
and I think I think in those moments too, I think John was selling what Castor Troy was. John Travolta.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
But I think that by comparison, what John Travolta had to do
versus those emotions that he had.
Yeah, easier. Yeah.
You can tell the story. Like you can tell, like all the people. Like, listen, I've unraveled and I've done all this, but that opposite side to be able to sell, never seeing your wife again, never seeing your daughter again. This dude is literally gonna take your life. You gonna rock.
Even further he got into it, he was doing a good job. Like when he finally ran to his wife again, like in the room and all that kind of stuff. Like he was bodying it. Yeah.
He really does. I mean, aside from the two of them kind of taking on and pulling from each other's mannerisms, it's slight, but it's there, right? And kind of having to pick up on. It's funny because I actually think that Frosty hits on one of the key things about this movie. Nicolas Cage, his very over-the-top acting. Like, John Travolta is known as an over-the-top actor. And so is Nicolas Cage. They are now acting as each other, acting as them.
Yeah.
So it should be over the top. In those moments, especially at that time, and if you're familiar, these are two actors whose faces right now are some of the most frequently seen faces in Hollywood, right? Like you're coming off of like Pulp Fiction, right? So John Travolta, who hasn't been around forever, now is like at the peak. All of a sudden, you know what I mean? This isn't John Travolta. This is Vincent Vega. You know what I mean? Like this is Pulp Fiction John Travolta. It's a different world. You know what I mean? And again, Nicolas Cage is like coming into this whole realm of like people actually beginning to accept him as being able to do more than everything else they've seen him do. And in this moment, they are given the job of acting like each other, right? And are truthfully pulling it off. If you really watch the way that when Nicolas Cage is by himself, like in the prison, he's not acting like John Travolta. He's acting like Nicolas Cage, coming to like he's by himself. He's not putting on a show. He's not trying to. But when he's in scenes where he's with people who don't know who he is, and he's trying to emulate what the other's character was like, they do an amazing job of actually doing that. And then you have moments where again, you've been acting as this other person, and now you're in front of the person who is the wife, who wasn't your wife on screen at the beginning of the movie, and you're having to go dig down into this place where now you have to act like this is the love of your life, who you'll only remember me if I do this stupid thing where I rub my fingers down your face and tell you, you know, go ahead, Sid. Go ahead, let's talk about it.
Ever since I saw this movie, there's one particular scene that's always pissed me off like no other. When he's in his Castor Troy is looking like he comes on to the wife, you know, and she goes to get in the car and he looks at her ass and he gets excited about it. I'm like, dude, how for the flattest ass I've ever seen, dog? You've got to be shitting me.
The slow-mo walk for it.
Yes. I'm like, there's nothing.
I'm like, what's happening?
There's nothing here. What are you looking at?
Yeah.
No.
Maybe that was supposed to be a different actress at some point. I don't know.
Please say that's what it was. That was no.
Yeah. I think they actually do a pretty solid job of like pulling that off, right?
Agreed.
And then being that over the top. And like the prison break scene, it is what it is. It's kind of fluke. It works out. You know what I mean?
It worked, yeah.
He manages to get out.
So fluke.
I still need it. Like, I know the helicopter was there, but him having
even how he got out the chair was stupid. Hey, I didn't do it. Hey, you want to work together? Get out of here.
Of course we do. Why wouldn't you want to work together to get out of here?
I totally believe that you didn't sleep with my wife, even though like I've been believing it for however long.
Right.
You want to get me out? It's fine.
You're just gonna say it like that. Like,
yeah, whatever.
Hey, listen, I know that electroshock therapy had my man a little. I don't give him a benefit of doubt because there was a lot of throw up on the side of his face.
No, I was trying to figure it out. Like all that puke that was down on the. I was like, how are you actually functioning right now? Like
because he needed to function to help get him out the thing. That's why.
That's it.
That was breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then something from the previous night, all right there.
Yeah, I think part of that was supposed to be showing you like this dude is a big dude who can kind of take more
punishment
than you would expect. So he can be the kind of he can be the bullet train ahead of, you know what I mean, what we're getting ready to get into, and give you like a little bit of a like, no, don't let him fall. Like, of course he's got to fall. He's got to fall and he's got to die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dog, but everything after that, everything that happens that John Travolta's character does as Castor Troy in Sean Archer's body, getting his brother out. You know what I mean? Like his brother in the interrogation room, just like eating, bruh.
No, just
having a good old time, bruh.
Bro, you're supposed to be snitching.
A1. He like, man, you supposed to be making me look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We about to be good. They're not gonna be able to stop us from doing nothing. Yeah, look, to be honest, I don't know where that was gonna go if it had worked out, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, realistically. But you know, it doesn't matter because it didn't work out. Speaking of the prison break scene, though, I need to take a moment to talk about my favorite Easter egg from this movie. So, in the theater, watching this movie for the very first time, in the prison break scene, I saw something. I'm pretty sure I said something to you, Sin. Nobody else caught it. And I felt like I was crazy, but I knew I saw what I saw. I couldn't wait for this joint to come out on VHS. Pause it and show everybody, like, I know I'm not tripping, right? So, in this scene where they're breaking out, there is, I'm going to actually pull this from this website. I'm going to show y'all this. Hold on. If you look at this, there's a InGen, like right, and InGen is the company responsible for making the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park.
Yep.
And And I thought to myself, this can't be the same universe, dog. Like what are we doing? Right? And look, to this day, there are fan stories and all kinds of stuff about it, and people talking about it and saying, like, yeah, somewhere in this, potentially, they're from the same universe.
Engine funds prisons.
Hey, listen, they failed
and in return, they bring back dinosaurs.
Keeping convicted felons, so they went to the next best thing and trying to recreate and hiding dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You ask yourself, where Engine got the money
to bring back the dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs.
Hey, listen, that private funding from that prison in there.
Yeah,
prisons. You know, that's what it is, bro.
I ain't gonna go back and watch Jurassic Park and see if there's something.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite Easter eggs of all time, and more truthfully, it probably is just a prop like the Super Mario boots.
It was just, you know what? We just use this. We can use part of this set. Just put it in there. Average person won't even realize it.
Listen, let me tell you something. That's a mistake that created a whole universe.
Yeah.
I just need a crossover.
That's it.
They are talking about doing a face-off too. Still, for some reason. That's a whole other thing.
Fits with Jurassic Park.
I mean, they keep doing Jurassic Park.
Hey, listen, sidebar. Like, Jurassic Park should be done and over with. I'm sorry. The same stupid people doing the same stupid thing. You know,
nobody learns.
We gonna go where nobody would ever go.
You know, if they weren't somehow continuing to talk people who survived it once into going back. Like, if it was all new people every time, I might be like, all right, you know what I mean? Because there are people who are like that. Like, you know what?
We'll go back.
That's been abandoned forever, but let's just go see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know the dinosaurs, we left them roaming around there, but let's go take a look at it real quick.
I mean, whatever.
There's no way they procreated.
What's the worst that could happen?
Oh, that's the famous one.
Right. Of course.
Nobody comes back.
We do get what I'll say is the precursor to the most classic kind of John Woo stuff in the scene where Nicolas Cage cast as Castor Troy
in the apartment.
Yes, in nicest apartment.
Yeah, that's the first thing I said. Watching that, I said, "Now this is my love letter to Americans. This is what I do. This scene right here, all that stuff was right there."
So here's the thing: that scene with the introduction of the son, who the son father actually is, the SWAT team coming in, all the slow-mo, the shooting, that entire thing, John Woo paid for that out of his own pocket because the movie production house said no. They cut the scene. They cut it from the joint. He was like, no.
Yeah, that's arguably the best scene in the movie.
This has to be in here. So he paid for that scene to happen out of pocket.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It's the best scene in the movie.
Yes.
It is the best.
Outside the doves in the church, he got all his shit off in that one.
I mean, listen.
He had seagulls in this one too.
Bruh.
Hey, bro.
Let me tell you something.
To the point, I was like, the seagulls was like, come on the beach, cool. Then when the doves showed up, I was like, hold up. Where the hell doves come from? Besides John Woo just saying, I gotta have my doves in.
Don't you worry about it. A man took a man's face off and put it on another man.
I wasn't bad because it's a John Woo thing. I was waiting for it.
They use lasers to give my man a shape up, bruh.
They
you
really
know,
did.
they cut his head with a shape up and just said, nah, your body, it'll work. Your body is his body. You know what I mean? Just make sure you leave the bullet scar. You know, like everything's fine.
That's it.
Yeah, don't you worry about where them doves came from. They came from the guns. They get delivered with the guns together.
Okay.
That's how
you just airdrop them in. Okay.
It's a package deal. Gotcha. Double Glocks and doves. It's the double alliteration. Double Glocks and doves. Say it with that. Double Glocks and doves. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't worry about that. What we know is what we need to know. The final scene is taking place in the church. Perfect.
That was it.
Another John Stable.
And listen, that whole scene is amazing. After, once they all start squaring up with each other, and it's just like, hey, what else could possibly go wrong? If somebody else shows up with a gun pointing at somebody. We do that joint like two times.
Another John Woo Stable.
And just waiting for someone to pop. Who gonna pop off first?
Gina Gershon has to buy it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Promise me you'll take care of the boy. Dang. scene. That's how you gonna do me for your dying wish?
I gotta watch a whole baby. I gotta watch a whole child.
Yeah, it'd have been more messed up.
She still thinks that he's the dad. Like, she still thinks he's Castor.
Yeah. Listen, it'd have been more messed up if she would have revealed that right then and there. He's yours. Take care of him.
The wife looking at him like, what do you mean that's yours?
Right.
What you doing? You doing this a little bit of time?
We can talk about this later, okay? You see what's happening right now.
That fight scene, that gun fight scene at the church is the first time anybody ever saw a handheld automatic pistol. Bruh. I remember being in the theater and he pulled that joint out and it was a pistol and he went, everybody in it was like, yeah. I need that in every game.
Yes.
Every game. There are some games that have it. They're few and far between, but it does happen. Yeah, look, then we just go into regular old action. Let's do a boat chase scene. Let's make it stupid. Let's, whatever. And when we get to the end of the boat chase scene, I actually do like that they get to a point where it's like, nope, he's gonna die. And because he's gonna die, you're gonna lose the opportunity to get your face back. Like you're gonna be actually stuck like that forever. And he literally takes a knife and it's like, yeah, you gonna be.
I thought that was a great add to it. Like, yeah, I'm gonna mess my face, mess your face up so you can't get it back.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he could have done better.
Actually going across it or something like that. Like you just outlining it. That's you just tracing.
You just going over to what they cut the face. Like you just doing their job once again for him. So,
but yeah, I mean, the way the movie ends, where they do the surgery and everything is beautiful and the slow motion walking past the
brightest sun ever out,
running to the door,
sun was
and the door swings open. They make you wait.
Yeah,
a second.
You come right to the door. Like, you should have been at that door a long time ago. I know he's walking in slow motion.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
He's now walked by, like he's like walking back and forth by the window. Like, has she seen me yet? She's had to see me now.
He's trying to get what he's gonna say. What's the first line I'm gonna say when I walk in? What's someone say first?
Hey, listen, you have to think about what I'm gonna tell you. Bring this extra kid home, like, hey.
That's exactly what the first line he was worried about what he was gonna say when he got there.
son too.
I have something to ask you. Child? It's kind of a terrible way to present a question.
My arch nemesis is child.
Right.
With his girlfriend who thought I was him as she was dying, asked me to watch his little kid.
So. That was like some like Rick and Morty, like replacing Morty type thing. Like, here's another Morty for you.
I mean, it just means that the movie was ahead of its time, Joe.
Oh no, very much so. Hey, listen, dude's ear got 3D printed before 3D printing was a thing.
Bro, listen, predicting the future, my guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we're doing. For all we know, that kid that was playing the son at the end is the same kid that got shot in the beginning of the movie. I don't even think we got to see his face. Could have been the same dude. Like, I don't know.
They had the pictures, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah.
They probably just moved his hair a little bit so he would look a little bit different. Damn, they won't recognize you.
Yeah, look, the daughter's just like, cool, a little brother. I don't know, dog.
No question.
Evil vibes.
She walked right up to my man and was like, swipe your face.
Got your nose.
I love you,
I don't know you, woman. You're touching me like that.
What is this?
My parents just died.
He was like, yeah. Like, all my man know is his headphones, bro. Yeah. I mean, so look, we get a happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't always happen at the John Woo joint, but we get a happy ending. We got a lot of action. There's a lot of stupid, but quantifiable stupid. You know, like if you go to a movie or you sit down and watch a movie called Face Off and you understand that the premise is we're gonna cut this man's face off,
swap it with somebody else's,
so we're gonna swap him. You know, we made a decision when we decided to sit down. Oh, all right, it's gonna be kind of dumb. You know, let's do it. And I'm gonna tell you what, trying to pull that off with 1997 technology, bro. The internet was still dial-up. bro.
Yeah.
I want y'all to know
That's scary.
you couldn't be on the internet at the same time you was on the phone.
Nope.
Unless you had another phone line.
Yep. Or you getting kicked right off the internet.
You can't even.
I've gotten yelled at for that. Get off the phone.
Correct. I gotta use the internet. Yeah. So credits roll. No after credit scene.
One of the thing.
Listen, I didn't even bother. Like, I knew back then. It's like, nope.
Yep.
My man said I ain't even watching these credits. You ain't listen to the song.
Cut it off as soon as them credits started. Stop. Done.
I'm
I was like, all right, that was enough of that.
Yeah. So Frosty, now that we've seen your favorite movie of 2025 so far, we've had a chance to talk about it in all of its glory. Are you still at a 3?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm at a 2.5. It's a full-on 3. I dig it. You would never watch this again. Wouldn't suggest it to anyone. This is a like leave it in the
1997.
Leave it where it was. All right. So when they announce the reboot or the remake, are you going to see it?
Group trip.
I am interested in seeing what they do with it. So
okay.
I remember when they announced it and I was like, that actually sounds pretty cool, even though I had never seen the first one. Somebody like explained the premise to me and I was like, okay. Yeah.
You were like, yeah, in premise it sounds cool. In practice, not so much.
I can't even imagine if
is this still a 10 for every Glock in the movie?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I'm officially give this joint 40 Glocks. That's cool.
Seriously though, 8 instead of a 7.
A 7.
No, let's do 2 8s. Double Glocks. Keep it with the double thing going. Yeah, but we definitely moved up from a 7 to an 8. Definitely.
Okay. Jokes.
I'm good with my 8. Like
firmly at an 8.
I'm good with my 8.
Let me tell you what a good time I had watching this movie. I enjoyed every terrible moment of it. Every moment of it. It is classic, quintessential. This is like everything an action movie should be. Mm-hmm. This is it. No action movies make sense. Not actual action movies. Again, this is like we don't get this anymore. Movies like Lethal Weapon don't exist.
Right.
Everything has to be so much more thought out and so much more that they don't just give movies in action. Like, what kind of movie is this? Oh, it's action. That's not a thing anymore. You know what I mean? John Wick is again like the closest that now, where it's like we're gonna murder a lot of people.
Nobody.
And people are gonna say it's because of a dog. And it kind of is. It kind of is.
Starts with the dog.
Starts with the dog.
Starts with the dog. Yeah.
It's not about the dog though. It's about the wife.
Yeah,
but it is because
the gift she left. Yeah, like you took that from me.
Gift he got from the only person. Like that was like without like it. There's so much more to it. So you allow yourself to go through that ride of everything he deals with, everything he takes. Many times he actually does get shot or whatever. You know what I mean? Because we just here for a ride. Like let's just go have some fun. And a lot of that kind of stuff is just missing from movies now. So this feels like one of the last. This is like kind of the last bastion of like, bro. Let's just do. This is summer blockbuster. Explosions and shootings and divings and slow motion and spinning around with guns in your hand and all of that kind of stuff. And so I think it's a product of a bygone era that just is like you can't it reminds me of like the first Mortal Kombat compared to what like Mortal Kombat is now, where it was like nobody does stuff like this. We're gonna do a thing like this. It's very 90s, very like it's extremely visceral and just kind of there. in front of you. It's not done with visceral. It's like this is what action is. So I have a high appreciation for that. A lot of nostalgia wrapped up in it. I had a really good time. I don't need to watch it again.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Had a fun time with it.
Yeah, like I could probably go another 20 years.
Now you had like Killer and Hard Boiled. I want to watch those now.
Correct.
Yes, I want to watch those now.
But they're not better. Not for real.
I think Hard Boiled might be.
Hard Boiled might be. You might be right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Killer's is kind of dated. The Killer, like, and you can see it.
You can just go play Stranglehold.
I don't even know. Can you? Is that even downloadable?
And no, funny thing is, I was thinking about it the other day, talking about we're going to do Face Off, and I was like, I really want to see Hard Boiled. But then I was like, Stranglehold.
Stranglehold is the first time a property's sequel, like a proper sequel, was done in a video game.
Yeah,
that's that John Woo for you. You know what I mean?
Try something different.
Look, I want to thank everybody for hanging out, watching. Love to hear your thoughts in the comments. How stupid is this to you? Is Sin like out of his mind for so many tens? For
Double Glocks.
Is Frosty out of her mind for such a low score, such a below freezing low score? You know what I mean? I don't know what the next movie is yet, but when I know, you'll know.
Hopefully, it's as fun as that one.
Hopefully, it's better.
You know, who knows?
Right. That's what we're here for, to find out.
Yep.
You know, we're here for the content. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. For myself, for Sin, for Frosty, and for Jokes, this has been the Loading Stacks Movie Club discussion for Face Off 1997. We're out. Tools and lose.
Sin, please.
Loading snacks.